Well, hello, friends. This is the weekly wrap up with Amy. That's me. I'm Amy Stone. I'm the creator of the Art of Imperfect Adulting. This is where I share with you a little bit about what's happening in my world. I take a little time, I celebrate the amazing feedback that's coming in from listeners like you, and give you a peek behind the curtain, the inside scoop on the episodes that were released this week. And let's do it. Weekly highlights, fun things that happened this week. I got a gift from a guest, like a package that came in the mail. That is not expected, and it's certainly not required from my guests, but it was also super fun to get a package in the mail. Just really fun. Thank you very much for that. I got the following feedback that came in this week. It says, I loved how real the conversation was. No gloss, just two women talking about how we keep going when life throws us the unthinkable. It felt honest and honestly needed. How nice is that? Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So, for anyone who's keeping track, and it's me, I'm the only person keeping track, I've now done over 160 interviews for the show. Yowzer. All right. On a personal note, fun things happening in my life. My trusty running headphones had to be replaced this week. They got very strange behaving and they were no longer working. And so they needed to be replaced. And the upside to that is that I found out that these headphones now come in a mini size for teeny tiny noggins like mine. So I'm happy about that. All right, now let's talk about the episodes that came out this week. These incredible conversations. 3 episodes were released. Melanie Bonk. She's the first one that came out. We talk about her relationship and a time where she had a total collapse in a very public place while they were on vacation, and how they worked through that on the relationship. It's a great story. You should absolutely listen to it, especially if you've been in a relationship for a long time and you've done some wonky things with your family and your partner on vacation, and who hasn't. But what I remember about this is that I don't know if Melanie Bonk is her real name or if it's a stage name, because as I was putting this together and looking at all the resources and links and things she had, like her handles and website and stuff like that are things like Bonk Better. And so I don't know if it's her real name. And that's what I remember. All right. So very good. The next one up, Anne Evanston, also a relationship story. In Anne's life, there was infidelity, and she and her husband came together and they worked through it. And fast forward, she talks about it. This is a story that evolved over some time, and now they actually share that with other couples around the world. What I remember, one of the things that I remember from this interview is that I asked her how she met her husband, and she talked about how everybody in her life was telling her to go to church to meet a good man, which is advice that is still given today. Go to church to meet a partner, join a faith group, join a hobby group. And she met her husband in a bar. And so for some reason, I just really, really enjoy that story from the episode. And it stuck with me. Go to church. Nope, I'll see you at the bar. I love that. Okay, so third episode that released this week, Connie Warden. This is a different kind of story. Connie Warden had an episode of what I'm going to call road rage, and the road rage changed her life because it just put her in a position where she had to question the alignment of herself and how she was showing up in all the different parts of her life. In other parts of her life, she was very tuned into mindfulness and being present, but she had this moment of driving rage, and it changed a lot of things. So it's a great story, a lot of fun. Thank you, Connie, for sharing with us. I posted a discussion question based on Connie's story to social media. I put those up on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and you can go and answer them. There's a bunch up there now because there's one for every single episode, but asking people what they do, if they're willing to admit what they do when they're in traffic and they're annoyed. Because, I know it happens to all of us. I certainly am not going to pretend that I have not done some things that were a little bit irate in the moment while I was driving. So those are the 3 episodes that came out this week. There's 3 more coming out next week. So stay tuned for that. I want to say thank you very much for spending this time with me. I only put this wrap up on YouTube, at least for now. So I'll be back in a couple days with more interviews and stories. You're smart. You know how this works. If you subscribe here on YouTube, then you'll know when there's something new coming up to watch. But if you want the real inside scoop without having to log into YouTube or your audio platform or whatever it might be, the thing to do is to subscribe at imperfectadulting.com to the email community, and you'll get some free stuff right away. And then you'll get all the information about the episodes once a week. I don't do timely, deadline heavy stuff on social media. So email is where I tell people what's going on and what I have to offer behind the scenes in my community. So that's it. That's a wrap. Over and out until we meet again. This is Amy Stone signing off. Thank you for listening today. I hope that you enjoy the show, and before I go, I want to encourage you to become a bigger part of the conversation. Obviously, subscribe wherever you're listening to the show. Listen to more episodes. That'd be great. Again, please write a review and tell your friends about the show. That truly is a great help for getting the show in front of new people. Okay, but more fun for you yourself. Head over to imperfectadulting.com and join the email community. You'll get some free stuff right away, and that way you'll begin to get the emails about the podcast. This includes the links for the special offers from the guests, and it's the only way to get that. Also, if you aren't in the mood to listen, I actually include an article directly in those emails. Whee! Now, if you love this and you crave more time with me, Amy, as a coach, a mentor, or just adultier adult, numero uno, check out The Village. If you have a story you want to share with the listeners, I'd love to hear from you. I have an open application. Just let me know you want it. And that's a wrap for today. Until next time, remember, the journey is the destination. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that, not me. Well, until just now, I did just say it. But what I want you to hear today is that if your adulting journey isn't going the way you expected, that may not mean that you're lost. It may just mean that you're on your way. This is Amy Stone, signing off. The Imperfect Adulting podcast is created and produced by Amy Stone and Amy Says So. Anything expressed on this show is offered as entertainment, and the views of the guests may not always represent the ideas and viewpoints of the host. That's me. Amy does not intend or hold herself out to provide professional advice or recommendations of any kind. In the end, you and you alone need to make those kinds of decisions based on your personal and individual situation, needs, circumstances, and comfort level.